Everyone, welcome to the Pharmacy with Purpose podcast with me, your host, Joe Kanema. On this second episode, we're going to be talking about pharmaceutical marketing with Mr. Michael Nkaka. So Michael, it's good to have you on this podcast, and welcome.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Well, so.
In this time of the coronavirus? It's good to have you. Well, I think before we get into, pharmaceutical marketing itself and everything surrounding the issue, I just want to find out, just before you got even into pharmaceutical marketing, I understand that you went to Evelyn College. So I just want to find out, before you got into even College, who is Mr. Michael, and where is he coming from?
I think Michael is just, I don't know what to say, but I grew up in Kitwe.
Okay.
I went to Luingu Secondary School, and then from there went to Evelyn College. After that, went to pursue other studies like business administration.
Okay, that's very great to hear. And after that, I understand you joined this pharmaceutical company, and then you got into the industry. Could you just give me a background of just your entering into the industry and starting pharmaceutical marketing itself?
Okay. Yeah. So when I was in school, I didn't know anything about marketing or pharmaceutical marketing, because what I was thinking, like, when you graduate, usually you'll be working somewhere in a dispensary, be it a chemist or in a hospital setup, and you'll be giving out medicines to patients. But it so happened that the first job that I got was actually in the marketing department, if you want to call it that way. So I remember my first job was at Division Pharmaceuticals, where I was asked to do the marketing. And it was so interesting because, yeah, it's marketing, but it's still something that and you're trained to do, which is to know about medicines and stuff like that. So okay. I have actually worked for Division Pharmaceuticals. That was my first job. Then I worked there from 2007 to about 2009. Then in 2009, I went to International Drug Company, IDC, still doing the same things of marketing. Then from 2009 to about 2013, I went on to join Qualicare Pharmaceuticals. Then after Qualicare went out of business, that's when I joined Westgate Pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's very, very interesting to hear. And I remember one day, having a chat with you about how work was at Division, and how you learned so much from your boss then, and with the values that have also helped you to become very good at marketing and all that stuff. Could you kind of just share, just one or two, values that you learned, or anything, that you learned from Division?
I think one of the things that, because Mr. Alola, he's the one who taught me how to go about these things. But it all comes down to one thing: discipline. And with discipline, we can explain it even further. Like, first of all, you need to know what you're doing. As in, what I mean is, you need to understand the products. So you should be the first person to buy into that product before you actually sell it to any other person. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I learned from him.
That's very very key. That's very key, and I think one of the things that that came out most open is you being able to understand your product, and once you understand it, then you can be able to sell it to the public. Because if you don't know your product, because if you don't understand your product, then you can't be able to sell it. And I think another thing that's so key is also, I feel, for you to enjoy the work itself, is for you to enjoy whatever that you're doing. Because if you're not really enjoying it, then you cannot really be able to sell the product. Am I right?
Yeah, correct. So, but the question of enjoying and not enjoying, sometimes not enjoying could be because you don't know what you're doing. And that's the more reason why maybe you're not even enjoying your job. So if you get the fundamentals right, then what will stop you from enjoying your work? Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. And I think I just also want to find out, what are the things that you enjoy about pharmaceutical marketing? What do you enjoy? What one or two things do you enjoy about pharmaceutical marketing?
Well, there are quite a lot from the scientific point of view, and if you want also the business point of view. Like when you get sometimes into a discussion, say from the science point of view, that thing where you get to discuss about what the drug does and potential side effects, and maybe also try to compare it with other drugs. Well, my job primarily is to try and defend. Of course, that defense should be backed by evidence, scientific evidence, to say the drug does what we are saying it does. If you use product A, and I'm asking you to maybe use now product B, so perhaps you ask me to say, why should I use this product and not the product that I've been using? So it's my job now to come in and tell you what features or advantages my product will give. Of course, your interest is the patient, same as mine. So we'll be discussing to say, this is what this drug is going to do to your patient. It's going to do A, B, C, D. And I'm talking to professionals, so usually there's no room for me to tell you maybe what you don't know or to lie to you. So I have to give you evidence that's backed by science. Yeah. And I said from the science point of view, and could be also from the business point of view. Maybe it could be the issue of price. It can be anything as to. So that interaction with the people, I think it's so interesting. Yeah. But for that interaction to be interesting, like I said, you need to understand your products.
Okay. Yeah. That's very interesting, and I think that's very key, and also just being able to understand, the sales process itself, because you remember, I think when I was doing marketing, really.
I kept encouraging you, Joe.
Yeah, I really had challenges, but what are the strategies to getting good sales? If you want to hit a big sale, or maybe over 100,000 kwacha or something like that, what are the strategies do you employ to really get good or big sales, like a huge and massive sales? You bring them to your boss or whatever, and they're happy with it. What are the strategies to getting good or big sales?
Okay.
I know there's so many, but what could be the strategies?
I think, like I said, maybe we'll say we talked about understanding your product, but there's also another thing that you need to understand is now to understand also your market. You have to do that analysis. You have to scan the market and understand who your potential clients would be, because it could be that you may not be getting sales, not because you have a bad product, but maybe the way you analyze the market and understanding the market is where the problem sometimes can be. So it comes down to you understanding also the market. So you have your product, you look at the market, and you want, I'm sorry. So you have your product, now you have to understand the market. So there are so many factors here that can be at play. And let's say, for instance, you have this product. And what I mean by understanding the market, you have to understand the people that are able to buy and perhaps use your product. If say, yeah, people that can buy and use your product. You could be looking at your product and you're going to clients. Maybe these are clients that it's a good product, but they can't afford it. So you will not generate the sales that you're looking for. So understand the product and understand the market itself. Yeah.
That's very key.
So that's the only thing. That's the only way you will be able to get your sales. Yeah.
So there's been times when I think you find that you have this product. It's a very good product, but the price is high. If you were to take it onto the market, how would you convince the end user to buy it or to order the product, as you know, compared to, because you find that there are so many other products on the market that are competing with it, but it's a good product, but the price is higher than
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, to say you have your product that you know and the market, so you will know that, okay, if I can take this product. I was saying you have your product, now you have to understand the market, which clients can actually afford this. Because if the client can't afford, surely there's nothing that you can do. But there are markets where your products will be accepted and they'll think the price is okay. So that's what I'm talking about. You need to scheme to say, okay, this market, this is what they can afford. And perhaps you can have other products now that you can present to them. You can have two coffee mixtures, one for this market and another one for this market. So if you have a coffee mixture for this market and another one for market B, if you just switch and promote coffee mixture for market A into market B and vice versa, maybe you will not get the sales. So you need to understand, you need to understand that in this market, maybe people are price sensitive. Get a product that they can easily appreciate. In this market, it's not maybe about the price, it's about the quality. Get something and promote it in that market.
You know, actually, what you're saying is very, very key. So what you're saying is that you need to understand the market, because there are some markets, you like you've said, you have like market A and B. Market A, you can promote a product that's cheaper, and they can afford it.
It could be that maybe they are.
But market B, it doesn't necessarily have to be cheaper, provided it's quality product. It's more. I think I've seen that with I think like Link Pharmacy. I think they've understood their market, right? If I was to say that, because people say they're expensive and all that, but I think they know their market. They could be on a higher price, but they understand that our market is this, and these people could afford this.
That's what I'm talking about. Because if you take a certain product, like I was saying, to a certain market, even when you walk into that pharmacy, they will tell you, here we can't sell anything above 100 kwacha. So you know, the guy has never sold anything that costs more than 100 kwacha. So if you're promoting a product that's already costing 100 kwacha, you know you're not going to generate the sales. So you've got to give the people the product that they can appreciate and understand and perhaps relate to. Yeah. So that's very, very key. Because markets, even hospitals, you can grade them. There's this hospital, this clinic, and this clinic, and this clinic. And you'll find that, yeah, this product, we can only sell it in this market, in this hospital, and in this hospital. Pharmacies in this area, perhaps, by looking at the area, the geographical area, the demographies, maybe people in this part of the town, they can afford this. People in this part of the town can't really afford this. So according to that, you'll have to know what to give to the clients.
So it all really comes down to understanding your market, understanding your environment, understanding your client, understanding your product. And
consumer spending power, stuff like that. You need to understand that. What sort of clients do come? Let's say you pick on a hospital. You have to understand, say, what sort of clients usually come here that go to that particular hospital. From that, you can tell maybe what products they will appreciate the most. Because look, you have this higher class type of clients, and you have this cough mixture that even when they just look at it, they won't appreciate it.
We've seen, yeah, I think.
So you have to give them something that they will definitely appreciate.
That's very key.
Yeah.
I remember. One time we were having a conversation, and you explained to me about the rule. Is it the rule of 80? Where you were talking about, say, you need to understand, say, if you have like 100 clients, you need to understand if 80% of the clients are going to get this product from me, 20% are going to get this product from me, and you need to understand to say, if only I can sell to 80, then I can make a good profit or a good sale out of this. And then could you just say something on that rule?
I think, just for starters, you'll never have a product that will be appreciated by everyone out there. So, like I was telling you, if you know your market and you know the people that can appreciate the product, of course you have to do the analysis to say, if I bring in these products, how many of these will actually buy this and use it. And from there you can actually do your own calculations to say, okay, sometimes it can just be that same 20%, and if it's profitable, why not? But it's not always about profits. It's also about saving lives. It's also about saving lives.
Okay, I think that's new to me.
No.
I always thought that the first pharmaceutical companies are just into it for the money.
No. It's not just about the money. Sometimes you can have a product, and you even know that maybe only 1 or 2 hospitals will use this particular product. Out of that, they will also tell you that maybe they also have maybe 5 or 6 clients on that drug, but you still have to provide the service to them, because it's important for those patients to have access to the medication. So it's not just about the profits. Sometimes, not sometimes, it's also about saving lives. Some products, I can tell you, they're not so profitable. You can easily drop them if you're just looking at profits. Yeah.
Is there a certain pressure that pharmaceutical marketers put on pharmacists or on doctors? You find that maybe you pressure the doctor, or as you market your product, to maybe them to just be prescribing your product, or is there such a pressure, and is that, if that pressure is there or that influence is there, could it affect patient care, or is there such?
Our job is not to pressurize the pharmacist or or the doctors. No, that's not our job. Our job is just to communicate value to these people. The pharmacist is there, and I'm here, and in the middle we have the patient. And our job is just to communicate value to the pharmacist. Of course, we know that these people are educated, they know what we're talking about, and my job basically is just to go there, explain what my drug does, and how it will benefit the patients. And that's our job, not to pressurize them. I cannot come to you as a pharmacist and say, give this drug and start pressurizing you. If the medicine is not what is right for the patient, how then can I come in and pressurize you? So I believe my job is to communicate value to you. Yeah,
It's true.
not pressurizing.
So, like with pharmaceutical companies, let's say, I mean, because you are at Westgate now, or maybe with Sterling or any other pharmaceutical company, how important is marketing for them? How important is does it just generate revenue, or do they use it for research, or how important is it for them? If, say, I opened a pharmaceutical company today, or a wholesale, and then I employ someone who's marketing for me, how important is the marketing for them? Does it help? In which way does it help the?
You are here, you have a product, the customer is here, is there. Perhaps they are looking for a product. Sometimes even people don't know that they have problems, not until you show up and you show it to them that, look, you have a problem. That's when they will see it, to say, yeah, you are right. So how do you do that? You have to market. How do you do that? You have to go and show that value to the people. It could be that maybe what they are using, it's working, but it's not as efficient as it's supposed to be. It's time consuming, it's expensive, or stuff like that. So you cannot just keep a product and hope that the people out there will just get to know about it magically. You need to be there, you need to go there to explain to the people, to say, this is what we have. And like I said again, this is how it will benefit the patient. The benefits, it's not always about money. Sometimes it could be about speed. I don't know what instruments you're using. Maybe just to work on that particular, let's say, operating on a patient. I don't know the time it will take you. Maybe if you're using these instruments just to cut and to do it. And if I gave you something to say, okay, here you're taking about 5 minutes to do this. What if I gave you this and it will just take 30 seconds? It still does the same job, but maybe it could be the time. This product, it will take about 5 minutes. With this, it will just take about 30 seconds. Which one is better then?
Okay. Yeah. So it also saves the time, which I think in turn also is cost effective.
Definitely, they say time is money. Yeah.
What do you think?
Or you could say, no, this product is expensive. But if we compare it with this, that is cheap, I told you when I just started, it was erythromycin. This is azithromycin. There is always a problem with certain products, especially when it comes to adherence. You have to take it 4 times a day. Maybe you can say at 06, at 12, at 18, and at 24. But maybe now the question is, how many people maybe will get to remember to take their medication at
I have a challenge. I'm a pharmacist, but when it comes to taking medications, I have a challenge.
Yeah, so now you see, so this is a drug, people will say it's slightly expensive compared to what we have. But maybe you could be saying, so yeah, they will do the same job, they will all attack the bacteria and they will kill the bacteria. But this one, say, you just take it for 3 days, and you'll be taking it once a day. You're more likely to comply to this one than you are to comply with this other drug. So that's the advantage, or that's the value sometimes that you present to clients.
That's very true.
And even them, they will see how it will benefit their patients. Yeah.
That's key. And I just want to find out, I think here, like locally, in Zambia, uh, I remember when I was doing marketing. I think there were some guys on the market, some guys who were doing marketing itself, who are, maybe for instance, this gentleman is directly from grade 12, and they're employed by the wholesaler, and they're do you think it really matters whether you go to school in this field, or provided you can be able to make sales, then that's the key? Or what do you think about that?
How do you engage in a conversation, especially if sometimes you don't have that background? And how do you sometimes communicate value to the clients? I believe that this can be done mostly by people with a background in pharmacy. Well, even you can say even people with a background in marketing or business courses, but you need to have certain fundamentals in place for you to be effective. Because unless we're talking about just going out there, but if we are talking about being effective out there, surely there should be a benchmark as to where we can start from. Yeah.
Okay, that's key. What are some of the challenges that you've faced in this journey of pharmaceutical marketing? I don't know. Maybe it could be with the clients, or maybe it could be with just how difficult the market is, or just what are the challenges that you've faced in this field?
There are quite a lot of challenges, like I said. Sometimes the challenges could be you have a relationship with this particular hospital or this particular client, and maybe if they run into financial difficulties, and sometimes you may not be able to get your monies out of from that particular client. Challenges to do with drugs, sometimes medicines being dropped along the way because maybe they are not making so much sense. I know I'd said something like you always provide a product just to cater for a few patients, but if there's a substitute that those patients can use, so sometimes you weigh all that and then you just get to drop the product. Sometimes other challenges, they are quite a lot. They are quite a lot.
Are there clients that just seem to be difficult to just deal with? Because because one thing I think I learned about marketing is that sometimes you have to be willing to look, for lack of better term, I'll say maybe to look inferior, because you try to approach this person, you're selling this product, and they keep on disappointing you every time and every time. So for me, when I was doing it, although now when I look back at it, I feel that uh, it's very key. But when I was doing it, you find that you approach this lady, and then she keeps on turning you down each and every time, and that she just seems to be so difficult. She's just not. You just can't penetrate. It's just so difficult. This hospital is difficult. You can't just penetrate. Have you had such challenges?
Well, such challenges will always be there, Joe. That's what I was saying. You will never have a product that will be appreciated by everyone out there. So it could be that this is not just the place. Go where your product will be accepted, where your product will be appreciated. You will always have people who tell you, for me, this one works. No matter what you say, you will not be able to convince them. But eventually, maybe you will get there and convince them. but you leave. You don't. Why should you concentrate so much on people who are rejecting you? Why don't you look at the people that are welcoming you, that are appreciating you? I think that's what you should concentrate on. It's not everyone that will accept your product. It's not everyone that will accept your product.
That's
it's got nothing to do with you, and there's nothing personal. It could be that they just don't want your product.
Yeah.
Maybe they're satisfied with what they have, and especially if they don't give you the audience for you to explain to them, what else can you do? I was telling you something to say. If you have a product that maybe if you have to use it, you'll have to take X amount of time, versus this product where you have to take this X amount of time. But if they don't give you the opportunity to explain to them, there's nothing that you can do.
Sure.
But you know what? One day, you'll be shocked that they'll get to appreciate your product. Because, again, it's a continuous process. You're not just going to somebody's office and convince them maybe immediately. Maybe they will need more evidence. So sometimes it's your job to ask. Say, sir, what sort of evidence would you like me to provide for you to be convinced? And sometimes, because it's coming from you, sometimes people will tend to think, okay, he's just into marketing, so he just wants to make some profits, or he just wants to make a sale. It could be that they will hear it from, let's say if it's a doctor, maybe if they hear it from another doctor who's satisfied with the product, maybe that will be the turning point for them to change and use your product. Or maybe it could be that they will have to be disappointed with the product that they are using, and then they will say, okay, why don't I try this? Yeah. So there will always be an opportunity. You just have to be ready. When that opportunity, you have to be available. When that opportunity comes, make sure you're available.
You know, I know this one is a bit off, but would you say that the market is saturated, our Zambian market, in terms of industry? Would you say it's saturated, or there's just still so many areas we can explore?
There's a lot. It's not saturated. The only problem is that maybe we can say all of us were doing the same thing. Maybe the majority are trying to sell the same product. Maybe in that case you would say it's saturated. But there are so many products that we don't have on the market. There's so many people that we are not servicing. So it's not saturated. Maybe we've just concentrated ourselves into a certain area. Otherwise, no.
Could you say that, you know, every person out there, we are able to reach to every Zambian, especially like in terms of the purchasing power, in terms of the prices that we are putting on these products that we're selling? Would you think that the purchasing power is good for every Zambian out there to access the medications, especially with the private with the private sector? Because that's where you are, that's where I am. As you market these products to clients, would you think that it's easy for people on the grassroots to be able to purchase these products in terms when you put a certain price on it?
Maybe that partly answers your previous question, where you talked about saturation, and now you're talking about prices being on the higher side. And if prices are on the higher side, maybe it's an indicator that there are few suppliers on the market. That's why the prices is higher. So maybe we need more suppliers to come and give competitions to the incumbent players. Maybe that will bring down the prices down.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very key.
Because I have seen, even in our neighborhood, I've seen a lot of pharmacies coming up. And with that, we've seen that prices have been dropping.
Yeah. Okay.
Because as they fight for clients, maybe one area that they look at is to lower their prices a little bit. Yeah. So it's not such. That answers also your question. It's not saturated.
Okay. You know, before I let you go, you know, we can go on and on. You know, we can keep talking about this. But before I let you go, there's someone out there, a young man or a young lady who wants to, or who's getting into pharmaceutical marketing, how would you advise such a person, or of on how they can go about being effective in marketing?
Most importantly, know your product and know your customer. It's very important. Then be disciplined. Know your product, know your customer, be disciplined. That's the only way you'll be effective. Because if you yourself, you don't know the product that you're selling, I doubt how you'll be effective. Sometimes it could be that you know what you're doing, you know the market, but maybe you're not disciplined to make a follow-up to the client, making sure that the client is satisfied, and following up on that chain. You need a bit of a discipline to do all that. Yeah. But know your products first. You should be the first customer to buy that particular product. Buy into it. Then you'll be able to sell it to the next person. Yeah.
Mr. Michael, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pharmacy, we are here to serve.